Good morning. Israeli forces seized a Gaza-bound aid vessel, Rachel Corrie, swiftly and without meeting resistance on Saturday, preventing it from breaking a naval blockade of the Hamas-ruled territory days after a similar effort turned bloody. The 1,200-ton vessel, which was carrying 5 Irish nationals, 6 Malaysians and a crew of 5, was intercepted in international waters about 30 kilometers from Gaza's shore and has already arrived in the Israeli port of Ashdod shortly before 11 p.m. Malaysian time. The takeover began at 12:15 p.m. Israeli time or 5 p.m. Malaysian time Saturday and took just minutes. Footage provided by the Israeli military showed 3 small Navy vessels pulling up to the Rachel Corrie. In a second segment, footage from an Israeli aircraft hovering about the cargo ship showed the activists sitting down in the middle of the top deck. Israeli military spokeswoman Lieutenant Colonel Avital Leibovich said the ship's captain had gathered the passengers in one area of the vessel, presumably to avoid violence. She said commandos clambered onto the boat by sea instead of descending from helicopters, as occurred on Monday when 9 activists were killed. Communications to the Rachel Corrie had been cut early in the day, so satellite phones weren't operating during the takeover and activists weren't reachable. Israeli warships had tailed the boat since early morning, determined not to let it reach Gaza, despite the international outrage over Monday's deadly raid. Greta Berlin, a spokeswoman for the Free Gaza group that organized the trip, described the takeover as another outrage to add to the 9 murdered and denied Israeli claims that troops had been invited aboard. Berlin, who spoke from the group's Cyprus office, said her organization would send more ships to Gaza and that it has been contacted by 4 captains volunteering for the next mission. The Rachel Corrie, whose passenger list included Nobel Peace Laureate Mairead Corrigan, had hoped to breach a 3-year blockade that has plunged Gaza's 1.5 million residents deeper into poverty. But activists on board the Irish boat had insisted that they would not resist if Israeli soldiers tried to take over their vessel. The Israeli Navy established radio contact with the vessel 4 times before boarding it and urged it to sail to Ashdod instead of Gaza. Israel has offered to inspect the cargo and send items permitted under its blockade to Gaza over land. The Israeli Navy officers addressed the boat as Linda, the Cambodian-flagged vessel's name, before it was renamed for an American college student who was crushed to death by a bulldozer in 2003 while protesting Israeli house demolitions in Gaza. Israeli Foreign Ministry spokesman Yigal Palmor said Rachel Corrie's cargo, which consisted of wheelchairs, medical supplies and cement, among others, would be inspected in Ashdod and permitted goods could be transferred to Gaza. The import of cement has been sharply restricted, but Palmor said some could be sent to the territory in coordination with the UN. Hamas has said it would refuse to accept any aid from the Israeli intercepted flotilla as long as a blockade remained in place.